It's now over 18 months since a group of Dublin Airport employees grouped together to help out 3 itinerant families who were camped near the airport complex. Enthusiasm for the project was high. Workers, unions and management all agreed to give whatever help was necessary to organise an itinerant settlement site. An airport settlement committee was set up, and the plan was to ask the Department of Transport and Power for a site. The Dublin Itinerant Settlement Committee would then put caravans on it. With government ministers from time to time urging the public towards a more positive approach to the settlement of itinerants, it was felt that authority would be on the committee's side, that there was no reason why the itinerants should not have been in their new homes before last winter. But it didn't work out that way. In fact, they won't be on the site this winter either, because there still isn't any site. The committee now feels that it has been given such a runaround that they can only be paying lip service to the ideal of settling itinerants.
This is the official site which was granted by the Minister of Transport and Power. The government owns the land from Santry, practically out to Sword, in case of future development needs. We wanted a site on which we could put 3 caravans, and this eventually was the official site granted by the Minister. As you see, it's very close to the airport where some of these itinerants have been offered employment. So it would have been convenient in that respect, but it is rather remote. We would need hard packing. I contacted the County Council to lay on hard packing and a trackway in. There is water, there is no sanitation, there is a stream at the end of the river there, but the County Council refused to do anything to this field because they said it was completely unsuitable due to drainage and sewage.
So this one came a cropper on the County Council desk?
The County Council will not move on this field. They have told me that. I went back to the government, pointing out what the County Council have said. The government then said that they accept that this field is unsuitable, but that there is nowhere else.
Well, you know, is their answer not a reasonable one? Drainage surely is important, sewage is important.
Well, they say there is no sewage here, but there are 5 cottages here, which the County Council themselves built 6 or 7 years ago when they extended Dublin Airport runway. So, obviously, they must be able to lay on sewage. Well, having turned down the previous site, I asked the County Council if they had any intentions of developing a site at all, at which stage they sent me a plan of the airport territory in which this field was marked out, and they claimed that they were approaching the Minister of Transport and Power to have this field developed as an itinerant site. As a site, it would be ideal. It's very near the bus route. It's more adjacent to Swords for the children to go to school. However, on the future plans for the development of Dublin Airport, this field will be under concrete. They are separating the cargo area from the passenger area, so that cargo aircraft will taxi through here to the cargo terminal over there. So this field will be under concrete in a few years' time. This was the original site, which we, in consultation with the authorities, suggested would be the most ideal site. It's very close to the bus service, it has sanitation and sewage, it is close to a source of electricity. This site was put to the County Council, who turned it down, they pointing out that it would be under concrete with the aircraft taxiing through the previous site which we have just looked at.
So what's going to happen now?
Nothing will happen until such time as we are allocated a site in which to put a caravan for a family or 3 caravans for 3 families.
Now, between being given excuses on the one hand and offered unworkable alternatives on the other, the committee's work has become almost stagnant. The whole project is in danger of being abandoned.
Dublin Airport is a good-sized Irish town. There are approximately 5,000 people working there. The government own the land. So I wrote an article for the Airport magazine, and what I asked in this article was, are there enough people interested in helping to pass on some of our blessings and helping to establish 3 itinerant families? The result of this was, it was really stupendous. In fact, I ended up with unanimous support for the establishment of a site for 3 itinerant families. All I needed was a site, and as I said at the beginning, the government owned the land. So where could the problem be? Surely by that winter or the following winter, we would have 3 families established at Dublin Airport.
Now, you've been offered 3 sites that for various reasons just can't work. Why were you offered these things if they don't work?
Well, that is what I wonder. Does the government want this to work or not? They themselves have done very, very little. They've talked. They've gone around the country and preached only to the converted that the itinerant problem should be solved. At the last budget, they allocated money for the development of tinker sites. But when people come up with the support, we can't get a site developed.
But you see, are you passing the buck on this? To what extent is it perhaps your own fault? Did you really press this hard enough, organise it well enough?
Good Lord, for a year and 8 months I have been writing and writing. I have been to the County Council. I have been to Transport and Power. I have been to the Department of Local Government. I have written eventually to Mr. Lynch himself. I have written 3 times. I have 4 letters. All I have ever got back from anywhere is that the matter will be attended to. I will hear from them further. I never hear from them further. Until such time as I write again, I get the same answer. I can go no further. At this stage, my committee is breaking up. You can't sit in committee for a year and a half and see nothing happening. The support around the airport is disappearing. People meet me. They say, whatever happened to that scheme you had, or when did it die? Is it going to die? It cannot continue until we are given a site.
Well, what to your mind is now going to happen?
Nothing can happen until we get a site. We have the support, which is fast diminishing. If we get the site soon, a site which is adjacent to the bus routes, where the children can still go to school in Swords, where it is adjacent to the shops, where the people can get electricity and sanitation, where there is some sort of development to make the site attractive, we can do something. If we don't get that, we can do nothing. And I might as well go back to the committee and tell them that it's all off.